Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday Squad Ops event. It is September 26th, and I am your commentator for the evening, Shadowed Ritual. Joined with Silent. How's it going, Silent?
It's going pretty good. Excited to see what happens tonight.
And in the background, we've got Barton doing our multicam. So today we bring to you Operation Sawtooth. It is an attack-defend operation, Russian versus militia. And before we go over the actual op, let's go over who will be commanding and leading these operations. For the Russian side, we have platoon leader Hero with his squad leads Dorf, Phoenix, Assault, and Londarts. And for the militia side, we have platoon leader HML with his squad leads Silas, Sughart, Bump, and Tup. So both of these commands, I don't think I've ever played this operation or ever commanded this operation before. So we should see some good stuff out of them. On the squad lead sides, definitely a lot of experience for both teams. No unfamiliar faces there. So should see some good stuff today for our Wednesday operation.
I'm gonna set my rally real quick.
All right, let's go ahead and go over the operation. So the operation is a Russian versus militia attack defense. The Russians will start at their little flag up at the top, or it's sort of the middle of the map. The green circles mean absolutely nothing. It just proves you didn't read the documents. Is the reason expits put those there. Essentially, the militia are in the resistance activity rectangle at the bottom half of the map, and they are setting up a fob in anywhere in that entire rectangle, as long as it is not inside of a building. So the lumberyard area towards the west side of the bottom half of that map is off limits for actually putting the fob down. You can't have infantry there, but the fob has to be sort of in the woods, and that's how they will play it.
Are you guys taking the woods?
And that is the operation. The Russians are attacking the fob. So some specifics for the operation: the militia get one logistics truck, and they can resupply their fob. So the longer the Russians take to actually assault the fob, the more time the militia are going to have to actually get some defenses up and make it a little bit tougher for the Russians to assault.
Medic.
Let's go ahead and go over our loadouts. The Russian assets include, for the squad, 2 fire team leads, 2 automatic riflemen, 1 grenadier, 1 light anti-tank, and 1 medic per squad. And they can choose if they want a weapons squad. It's not necessary, but it is an option. If they choose a weapons squad, they replace their 4th squad with 1 squad lead, 2 fire team leads, 2 MGs, and 4 riflemen. So they lose out on the grenadier and the light anti-tank, and a medic as well. I did not catch that before, but they do lose out on a medic. And they replace those with 2 MGs and an extra set of binoculars, I believe. No. Just the same squad lead. They also get 1 logistics truck with any load they want, whether it be 1,000 ammo, 1,000 build, or 600 ammo, or 600 build, the rest ammo. And then they can place a fob down with 1 mortar, just a single mortar. So if they choose that weapons option, they're going to have some indirect fire to sort of help with the assault on the forest fob that the militia will have set up. We've seen it used for AG and smokes. Smokes have been really effective on this operation
I will
before.
not be doing too brief, so go ahead and do.
So for the militia, for each squad, they get 2 fire team leads, 2 automatic riflemen, 2 light anti-tank, and 1 medic. And for the platoon, they get 2 scouts. So we'll see at least 2 mines and 2 IEDs out on the map somewhere. We'll have to keep eyes on that. And they get the 1 logistics truck. For their fob, they can place down 2 HMGs, 1 mortar, and various defensive structures, whether it be barbed wire, oil barrels, sandbags, things like that. So we'll have to look for those MG placements and what they decide to do with those mortars. Not a lot of platoon leads like to use the mortars if they don't have somebody reliable to actually use them, because they can be very hit or miss, literally, as in they can be 200 meters off of the actual objective or their actual target, or they can land right on top of them. It all depends on the guy using the mortars and his ability to follow corrections. And those are the loadouts for the for both teams. So, Simon, what do you think of each of these platoons? Who do you think is who has the upper hand in either leadership or their plan so far?
Hero,
We've been sitting in on for a little bit now, and we can actually see where the militia have set up their fob.
shuttle a few people.
Yeah,
So I'll take
militia's
myself, you, and
in
then
a good
take-
area.
take
It's
2 of your people.
kind of an area, these like
Yeah.
300-meter grid over here gets used a lot.
Unless you get someone.
Honestly, both teams
If possible, do
have
that
a lot
for
of
you guys.
experience.
You guys are not being cooperative.
I'm
with
always
kids.
going to side of defense. It's, in my opinion, it's a little bit easier to do. You just kind of wait for them and then react, versus the attacker's got to start coming up with a plan right away. So if I was a betting man, I'd say militia's going to take this each round probably, but we'll see. Crazy stuff happens. I think last week we had a 1v13 and it was crazy.
Oh yeah, last Wednesday, Storm got a 1v13 in Operation Black Ice. Actually, what's up, KCL? New to the streams. Well, welcome to the stream. Today is a Squad Ops One Life event, and we're just a few minutes away from getting started. The players joined right as we went live with the stream, so we've got about, I'd say, 10 more minutes before we get started, which gives us enough time to sort of analyze what the defense is going to do and listen into a platoon brief for the Russians. And I don't think they've started their platoon brief just yet. No, they're still milling around waiting to do their platoon brief. So let's take a look at the militia. So where they've set up is a classic spot for this op. I don't know when this op was made, actually. Let's see if it's in the notes. At least
May 1st, 2017.
Yeah, May 1st, 2017. So this op is over a year old. And so we played this. This will probably be like the 8th or 9th time we played the op. And people like to... this spot is a classic. It's a 3 hills with a fob in the center, and it gives them a pretty good crossfire for anybody trying to come in from the north, the west, and the east. Their south is the most closed off area to the closed off is not the right word, but it's the hardest for them to get eyes on consistently. But it's also the hardest for the Russians to get behind and actually get up that back end of the map. And so we should see some HMGs here on these rocks on the northeastern hill, a possible HMG on the southern hill to cover the 2 northern hills, and then the mortar somewhere in the center. That's generally how it plays out. It all depends on the platoon lead's defense ideals of either consolidating all of his forces on the 3 hills or having a flanking squad off on either side, the west or the east. You're not going to see him send very rarely will you see him send a full squad across the river. That's most of the time suicide.
Yeah, well, the wild card, I think, is how aggressive militia is going to play this on defense. Are they going to flank, or are they not going to? Are they going to send a squad out there? We'll have to see, because that's really the wild card when it comes to defense. I think the last time I played this, I was with my SL as medic. We rushed the bridge in the only logi truck we had and got ambushed because they pushed out really far, and my op was over in 3 minutes. So yeah, hopefully the participants tonight have a little bit more time than I did last time.
Yeah, no, for sure. It looks like Russians are going to get ready for a platoon brief. We got a couple of guys lining up, getting ready. Yeah, and it looks like the militia are actually going to start their platoon brief as well. So we'll try and catch both of them, since for the beginning we're actually going to have commentators on both sides before switching over to the same side, so colors just remain the same.
Suggs squad, he's going to split his guys up into 2 fire teams. He's going to have 1 fire team on the red fob mark at Bravo 1348, another fire team at Bravo 1391. They are also going to be building on fob. They should be within fob radius, and they're just point defense looking northeast if they can. Second squad on point's going to be Bump. Bump's going to have 1 fire team on that green fob mark to the east, and 1 fire team on the hill that we're currently standing on, just a little bit south, maybe like 50 meters. Bump again can build on point. He's also going to be point defense. He's primarily looking south, southeast, east, and Sug is looking north, northeast, east. Two other squads, we've got Tup and Silas, squads 1 and 4. Silas is going to be on the east, maybe over here on this green fob mark. Mark it differently, actually. That MG mark. Somewhere over there. Somewhere over there on the east. I'm not too sure on where he wants to be. I'm leaving that up to his discretion. He's pretty much screening the eastern flank, making sure, you know, if they do come in through there, that they're going to get lit up crossing the field. Tup is going to be on the northwest, marked by hat marks. This is Squad 1. Squad 1's going to be on the northwest. They're primarily watching the northern river crossing, so these guys are going to be kind of laying low until you guys got contacts in the river. So I don't want anyone shooting anything across the river until you've taken contacts or there's shit in the river, right? Just be aware that that hat mark that's currently up there, that is the spawn screen. So if you go in there before you know, someone on the team hasn't spawned in yet, they can see you and they'll know. So just be aware of that. Other than that, that's pretty much what we're doing. I'll go over it again. Sug and Bump are on point. Pup, Squad 1, is on the northwest watching the river crossing. Silas is on the east watching our eastern flank, kind of screening over there. And if anything happens, Silas and Pup will flank accordingly to what's happening. And if we need to, we'll call Alamo on point. Chain of command is 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it goes down to FTLs, whoever's got the brightest, you know, mind. And that's pretty much it. And any questions about that?
I have one question, HML.
Shoot.
Are there mobility restrictions?
Infantry can cross rivers, so there are no there are no mobility restrictions. No. Other than vehicles.
Vehicles
need
by
to use
vehicles.
bridges.
Well, we're only gonna if they choose the weapons. The weapon squad? If they only get a logi, right?
Yeah, and you know we don't expect them to cross. You know.
I just wanted to point out to
Actually, good
everyone
point.
in our squad.
Bump, I believe Bump's
that
doing
the-
logi runs. I think you already talked to his guys about this. 2 people have to be in the logi per time, and you guys are just going straight east to main. I want you guys staying off roads as much as you can.
Last I checked, the
And that's
boundary
Bump
on the
squad
west
taking care of-
is about 50 meters.
Yeah, that's Bump.
Actually eastern
Alright,
of
so
what
if
it's
there are no
marked.
other questions, you guys are set. SL's got to break them out into your areas within 5 radius, and you guys are good.
So you're gonna run into the boundary before you think you do, on that western side. So just keep that in mind, guys.
Good to know.
Godspeed.
We can get as far as we can from the
Alright guys, you just caught the militia team brief, and it looks like they're going to play it pretty close to the point, have some guys out near the river. Russians are not doing a full platoon brief, and this is sort of a style of brief that was pioneered by Expit, I want to say, where he will give his squad leads the plan, and he'll be like, alright, now each of you go brief your squads individually, and it just allows the squad leads to get a little more in-depth with their squads and give them a more detailed plan. Personally, not a fan of it. I like my full platoon to know the full plan for everybody, so that way they sort of see how they fit into the big picture. But this style has really taken effect with the more new commands coming in, and it's worked out more often than not. I'm just old school that way. We got a live time of 7:38, so live in about 1 minute. Before we go any further, I'm very intrigued, gentlemen. How does someone become a player? Well, no justice, no peace. To become a player, check us out at squadops.gg. From that website, you can link your Discord, sign up for our SOTT basic training. After you take a 30 to 45-minute course, you can then sign up for any and all of our operations. So the start point is squadops.gg, and from there
so just remember,
you can get
once you
any and
guys
all
are
the
holding,
information, including our Discord link.
before crossing for Dwarf to get completely in place.
the Russians also took the weapon squad, so they lost a grenadier, a light anti-tank, and a medic for 2 MGs and a mortar. So we'll see if that works out for them. Who's in charge of the mortar? It looks like Heroes in here with Dwarf, so it looks like Dwarf squad is going to be in charge of the mortars. And a lot of good players in here. So Dwarf is actually very well versed at using the mortars. He's a good he can adjust very well, and then he's got a Sunny and Scunny guys I've seen on the mortars several times. Live in about 4 seconds. And we are live. Right off the bat, the Russians are going to send their Logi truck east. They're going to send 3 squads south. Actually, basically 4 squads. There's only going to be 4 infantrymen in this Logi, one of them being command, one of them being squad 4 lead. So squad 4 is going to leave his the rest of his squad led by Scunnion, one of the fire team leads there. So Scunnion's going to essentially be in charge of a full squad while Dwarf mans the mortars with Sunny and Lord Shanka.
Yeah, militia's just spreading out. That Logi's just now getting going. It's a long drive. It looks like what, about 1,500, 1,800 meters for him.
Yeah, it's like a solid 5-6 minute drive both ways.
Yeah, we'll see if they make it back for another run. They do get the supplies that they started there with, so they should have some defenses. But yeah, it's going to be a while, and we'll have to see how fast Russia wants to, push this.
And off the bat, squads 1, 2, and 3 are holding their position about, I want to say 100, maybe 200 meters from the river's edge. Looks like they're going to wait for the mortars to get into position.
Go ahead. I took her on target.
Got eyes on movement. Militia camp.
So they've got eyes already on the militia camp, and militia's being very aggressive with their positioning on this west side, sending squad 1 led by Tuff almost to the river's edge. And there's actually a pretty good like hideout here. It's like a little cottage in the woods on a hill, and it actually makes a pretty good like OP for the militia if they want to stay over here.
You said Charlie 13-5?
Charlie 13-5. There's like wood piles. It's called militia camp. That's approximate location, but definite movement in the forest just beyond it.
Yeah, so it's like Russia
Yeah, command, I confirm.
just sees them in the wood camp.
Out there.
So not necessarily where the radio's at, but
Alright,
it's like maybe 100, 200 meters off.
1, 2, and
So
3,
they
that
now
they're
know
gonna
like where they're at.
somewhere in the west.
So let's see if they get those
Hopefully
mortars
that
up.
means they don't have anybody.
Wow, Tuff is actually sending a fire team across the river, or a buddy team across the river, led by Storm and Clay's Bond right behind him. So Storm is crossing this river. He's in squad 1 led by Tuff. We'll see where he decides to position himself. Getting across the river as the militia is very risky because it's such a safe point to be able to stop people before they cross the river. And if you're having to retreat across the river, it's going to be very difficult for you to come out of this alive. So Clays is going to stay next to the river's bank. Storm's going to continue to push up a hill just north of.
So possibly enemies to the northeast. Call out from Shughai.
So he's got this IED. I see what he's doing now. This the hill he's actually on is a solid base of fire position for the Russians. A lot of times you'll see them put a squad up here and get them on the rocks and then start shooting across to sort of suppress the militia. And he's sort of guessing that the Russians are going to come this way and get set up here. So he placed this IED down. Did it actually go down? Yeah, it actually went down. I'm not sure if it's actually going to work, just based off of where it looks like the Russians want to assault from. Looks like the Russians are going to try and come in from like a northeastern kind of push. He's got 3 squads on the north, and squad 4 led by Dwarf is actually pushing south to sort of come in from the east.
It's just a random IED. I wonder if they like why that spot, but
I guess my question
yeah,
is,
we'll have
since you guys
to
across the
see. I wonder if
river,
they
do you plan
saw
on
them.
pushing
You know, we
it?
can't hear their comms,
And we're
but I really don't
replacing
think they could see them from
I
there.
plan on pushing south to the
Yeah,
I think it's
it
just
does
like a
look
Hail
like
Mary.
7 area.
The only one who might have eyes on the Russians would be this Mr. Moneyman, and it's pushing it. There's a lot of fog out. We've got the outlines,
We'll mirror what you guys
but
Alright, Sunny,
maybe
at
look at it. They're like smudges on the screen.
253.
And I'm full max zoom. He doesn't have the zoom.
Yeah, stand by.
It's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to spot the Russians. Face has got to be up against that screen.
Yeah, Russia taking their time right now. Lodge drivers finally, for militias, finally left main. About 5 minutes to get one way.
I wonder if Dwarf Squad 4 for the Russians are going to be in position to ambush this. They've got about what it took them 5 minutes to get there, so they've got about 4 minutes to get across the river and get in position if they want to try and ambush this Logi.
It's gonna be pushing directly
You could see him. Oh,
Oh,
God,
yeah,
you could see him.
Oh yeah, they're moving around.
Woods
Yeah,
area.
Dwarf
Pushing pretty much
spotted the
straight
little
across.
fire
Oh.
team
And clearing from
No, you can do
across the river. It's like Yagyo
That is.
and his other buddies
that's
over
actually
there.
300.
Is that clear?
So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe
Inside.
maybe they want to fire at them, or maybe they're just getting into it right now.
Hold on.
Guess 2 will take the middle. 3 if you want to go west.
Supreme switch with Chonka, okay?
Alright, going.
I have contact
Hertz
Delta
and,
1314 stared at me.
Looking direct west. West to north, okay?
Got it.
If you're in danger, then you're free to fire.
Chonka, look
Roger.
52, you can see him on top of the rock. 300 range.
Once you guys ready position, you're free to engage him.
It looks like
Just to get information,
they
we're
might
going
look
from
fire on these
west to
guys.
east, moving south. Once we
He's,
cross
he's,
the area.
literally-
I got
he's prone leaning on the rock.
Raj.
Dwarf, watch out. Your head might get schwacked here.
Okay, I can't get my bipod down. Why?
Just get where you can put it down.
With this fog, it's going to be the key for the MGs and the automatic riflemen and even the squad leads to fire and maneuver, because tracers definitely work both ways. So if the MGs that squad 4 has decides to go crazy and just unload about 50-60 rounds in one direction without moving, it's going to be easy to just trace those back.
They need to be.
Yeah, they're trying to right now. Their MGs are struggling to get their bipods down right now.
I'm gonna engage first, try to hit him with like a one shot, and then you're gonna engage after, okay? But wait for my shot. Hold on, let me just get my. Gotta breathe. Hold on. Copy.
Hold on, give me a sec. What are the changing plans?
Let me know when I'm
doing what I originally planned, or we're just pushing straight across. Clear from here to south. Okay. Except for
You engage?
or your guys are still
Ready?
staying on the wrong side.
You ready? Yep.
Yeah, we're engaging.
Alright.
Alright, one's replacing.
Okay, copy that.
On target.
So they're starting to take shots at. This looks like some guys from squad 4.
Hey, Logi.
Yeah, it looks like Jikarzan goes down.
The Logi just runs through it all.
Logi moving to camp.
Hey, keep eyes on that. Keep eyes on that, Chonka.
Tell me if you see it. Stop.
One down in that quick burst of fire. Yagyog's getting shot at now. Trace is gonna chase him. He's just running. Safe on the other side of the hill.
Engage buddy team element.
So they've essentially engaged the element furthest east of the militia spawn, or the militia fob. Has there been contact? Haloer, this is first contact. It was between Yagyog and who's the guy who went down? Jikarzan. Jikarzan, the first man to go down in this operation for the militia.
Yeah, Jay Carranza Jones first down, I believe. Rip. It sucks.
Yeah.
Going down first, but you playing enough offs, it's gonna happen. You know, it's just someone's got to go first.
Copy.
You know, and if
John,
you
John,
look
when
at
you're
his
watching-
body here, I'm on top of his body now. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for the for him to get out of here. It looks he might have been a little further forward, and they just lobbed these shells in at him. But while these first shots have been taken by Dwarf, we've got 2 squads starting to cross the river direct north on the sort of like peninsula area. And no casualties yet. Whisk, anyone know when the new update is going to be? Whisk, we're not privy to that information. Unfortunately, we got to wait just like everybody else.
I think the remainder 3 squads, all 3 squads, I think 1, 2, and 3, all of them are crossing the river right here.
Yeah, it looks like it. We've got squad
The
3
mortar's up too.
On the north still. They're probably waiting for squads 1 and 2 to get across. Squad 4 looks like they're just going to draw attention with their MGs. And so far, HML has not fallen for it.
3 is beginning our cross.
One of the rookie mistakes from newer commands is that as soon as they take contact, they start rotating guys off of other points to sort of reinforce that, thinking that's a full push. And HML hasn't done that. He's letting his squad 4 do their job, take their shots, and maybe they'll end up falling them back. But for the most part, everybody else is remaining in position. He is sending over a... Oh, no, that's just a single guy pushing forward. Looks like he's running back.
What do you see to your west, south?
To my west,
Let's just kind of waiting.
No eyes on contact.
You know, using that defender's advantage.
Oh, break! I see more. I see new targets to my 250.
Roger.
The longer the Russians take, the longer the
famous last words.
militia have to build. They've just got one more logistics run. Where's this truck? Is it driving back? Yep, they're gonna attempt another one. I think Toaster Stroots, the ones doing logi duty, driving back and forth.
What can you see?
We're gonna spend about 15 minutes of this operation in a vehicle at this point.
Nothing right now. We're working on a flank on the enemy. I'm trying to get by their front.
So our mortar gunner or mortar man tonight is command. So he's sitting back, has not fired yet, so risk of getting taken out's very low right now.
Tup's squad is actually in a very, very nice, or he sent out a fire team, and they're in an amazing flanking position here. Storm's fire team with Clay's Blonde, Sessa, and Frogfoot are almost on the direct west of the militia or the Russian squad. Storm looks like they're going to see him or see them, and if he can get an MG up here, or sorry, an automatic rifleman up here, they are just out in the open. River on one side, open field on the other.
100% he sees them.
Yeah.
And everyone on this river, no one is looking back right now. All 18
Look, he's calling Sessa
squads.
forward.
Yeah,
With
we'll have to
Sessa running up to
see.
him now. He's getting his bipod out. This should be deadly.
See how many he gets. Should get some. No one's looking right now.
Move in closer into the area itself, and I just want
Either they're waiting.
to form along with one. Form the line.
Where do I go on the website to apply for an SOTT class? Lieutenant Miglo, check out the calendar. There's a giant calendar button in the middle of the squadops.gg homepage, and from there you should see. Actually, I don't know if there are any more basic classes this month. We only have one more Thursday left in this month, and I don't think it's basic. MG goes forward, they fire, and Sessa hits the dirt. Literally shoots into the dirt. Gives away his position. The full fire team is turning around.
Now everyone's looking that way.
Now everybody's looking. Next shot will be on the 4th of October, so sit tight for that to be uploaded to the website soon. But next shot, it will be the October 4th. Sessa just drew attention to himself shooting in the dirt, and now the cover is blown. Very unfortunate. This could have been a much more effective ambush.
We're just sitting here, though. They're just sitting out in the open, even though they know there's enemies behind them. Yeah, if they don't get cover, then more people are gonna end up like New Shot. They need to get some concealment. They're just sitting on these banks.
Command be advised, 3-sided man go down. We are taking
And now
contact
finally
from the
they're
northwest.
moving.
They noticed that's only got one. That could have been way more effective, I feel. But then again,
Roger,
we've got the
pulling into
zoom,
tree
we've got
line,
the
so we can't get lit
outlines,
up on the beach.
and we've actually boosted our gamma a little bit for the stream. It's very, very difficult for him to see anything, especially in this fog. He's taking more shots. One more may go down here.
Well, now that Russia's looking that way, it's a lot easier to see militia because they're going to be skylining.
Yeah, Cessa's gonna stop his firing. Manages to hurt. Who is that? They got hurt. Fortuitous. But iHax is there to heal him back to full. So in that ambush, only one man goes down. And the Russians have a foothold across the river, I feel. It's a foothold, not a very strong foothold, not a lot of cover. But they do have a foothold. We will see if it holds.
Militia doesn't look like... I don't think they're dealing with mortars. It would be very ideal for them to have it. And Russia's, they're still just waiting, I guess, for targets.
So Tup is committing to this flank. There was a single fire team here. Yeah, there was a single fire team, and Tup has reinforced it with the rest of his squad. And I don't really agree with this now. The cover's blown, and now they're just sitting out on this flank with no axis of retreat, really. And this is the exact same hill where the ID that Storm placed, where they assumed that the Russians were going to set a fire team up here, is now being taken over by militia. One more goes down. Tup takes out Boost and Alcoholic. That's what it says.
Okay, so we got mortars coming out. I think they're going on Tup.
I'm here to catch them.
Might be the village, though, actually.
I had a lone wolf run up here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's on the village, so they're not even looking at Tup. There's 3 dudes in this village.
Not even close as I am. Major Amr Maltese looks like they pushed up, and they've taken out one. And through all of this, they've pushed the peninsula, essentially, and that's where they're going to be able to maneuver from. A single squad, actually, is this a full squad? Looks like a fire team from Squad 4 has pushed east, and looks like they're waiting to sort of for the Russians to commit before closing the flank and hitting them back from their east. You know what's happened so far. It's been a lot of maneuvering. This is probably the most contact we've had since you've gotten back. So far in kills, 4 kills for the Russians, 2 kills for the militia. Those 2 kills being by Tup Squad, and the rest being by these militia deaths are from over here in the, I guess this is woodwork area. I forget what this is called in game. Lumberyard, right? I believe it's Lumberyard.
I think it might be Lumberyard. Yeah, militia's spreading out. Tup's across the river. They have half of Squad 4 Stylus. They are going on a super wide flank. We'll have to keep an eye on them, but I mean, theoretically, Russia could try and force their way through here right now while militia spread out.
Yeah, they have their opening here at Lumberyard. They're effective. Their mortars are on target. What they're calling to the mortar is landing where it's supposed to. Unfortunately, there's just no militia there.
Yeah, Dork just called it out.
They booked it south. They booked way south.
They're keeping solid eyes on them. The information being dealt out by Dwarf to his platoon mates and command is on point. He's been following him the whole time. So Yagyo and Tadashik, they just haven't had a moment's rest. They've just been constantly on the move, being forced back. They finally spotted Tup Squad over here on the north. They're being shot at. Look at these tracers come in.
Why do you want me to bring
They're just constantly harassing them now. I don't think they're going to be able to land many shots at this point, but they're going to be a constant worry for the Russians now. Just always wondering if there are guys.
What we're going to try and do
if
from
there are
here
guys actually in the rear
are
of the
going
Russian
to
element.
move to our east.
So I think what actually Silas is probably doing.
Alright, command is on.
He's
So
probably mortar
with
hunting.
you, I want to pull my squad
Him and his
east.
two buddies.
Try and hit these guys in the back.
So he's just trying to get around and probably trying to listen to the next shots to kind of pinpoint it. It's been about 3 or 4 minutes now. He probably has forgotten, not forgotten, but he needs a little more intel. So we'll have to wait and see. But now Hero's all alone, so if Silas can get by and take out the mortar, they actually might be able to use it as well. We'll have to see.
So are people building the fob right now, or was it built before the game started? They are building the fob as we speak. They don't get to build anything before live. The only thing they're allowed to do is place down the radio and a hab. Everything else is being built, right now. Thanks to our multicam stream, we're able to watch firsthand the excitement that is fob building. Have they placed down a mortar yet? We're not seeing a mortar.
Militia probably has not placed down a mortar. I looked up 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to mess with it right now. They can always build it later if they want to.
If they've got supplies left, yeah, that's true. And I'm not seeing any MGs either, which I find questionable because the MGs are really effective at cutting off these areas of approach, or at least denying areas of approach from like the northeastern direction, especially if they got some in the I guess the lumber yard to the east of their fob, which I believe is in range.
Yeah, pretty slow round. Silas's mortar hunting squad is crossing the river. He's put little three of them, and I don't think any of these Russians are going to see him.
I've got a guy coming back to you, Sled V.
And the same time that Silas's guys are crossing the river on the east, Huff's full squad looks like they're on the same sort of mission as Silas's fire team and just hunt down the fob. I don't really agree with this call. This is just too many guys off of the point and not being effective. And as I say that, it looks like he's breaking it up. He's sending a fire team to go hunt for the fob, and the rest of the rest of his fire team is going to stay behind and potentially keep harassing the Russians from their north.
Yeah, the moment Hero started shooting, he's now requested someone to be his bodyguard. You know, one guy to defend him. So we'll have to see if his one bodyguard can protect him against this team of 3, and it looks like team of 4 coming out.
Set up on those mountains, and I don't think there's anybody on the east.
There's still a lot of players up, so if Hero goes down,
but if you move across,
the command will be down. Obviously, this mission is pretty simple. They know where it's at. They just need to get there. But we'll have to see if that will affect the attack.
Yeah, definitely losing your command early on, especially if you have this many guys up, and so everybody understands how many people are actually up. We've only 4 kills into this 4 kills for the Russians, 2 kills for the militia, and we are about 25 minutes into this match. So very slow round so far. The Russians are playing it slow and methodical. They've just now got to the lumberyard area where they were mortaring.
The lumberyard right now.
There's
no one in there. Dorf saying that all his guys are jumpy. He thought it was an enemy. This is what happens when you just kind of sit around waiting. Start getting a little antsy, a little anxious. What was that? Oh, there might be enemies here, and that's kind of what we're seeing now. This guy's unloaded at least 3 or 4 now of his GLs into nothing. Maybe he just hates lumber. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely, and they've been. This Dorf is given the information that they've fallen back off of this point. It is not. They know there should be at most maybe 1 person there, maybe 2, but they saw a lot of people fall off at this point. Do squads practice together? It's okay that you knew Michael, but this is no squads really practice together. we sign up for our commands and our squad leads throughout the week for our staff, and then we'll appoint regulars, and then it sort of randomly generates who's on which side. And then whatever side you join in on for the actual game, if you're just a regular player, is what side you're going to be on. The only people who really have an idea of what's going to happen for the round is the commands, because when they sign up, they start to sort of formulate a plan on how they want to complete the mission and things like that. But they don't know for sure who's going to be on whose team and whatnot. Agajo's just so hesitant to push up to the lumberyard.
So at lumberyard, there's a militia fire team. They're the original fire team. They've now come back. They're getting in between. On the map, I can see they're getting in between Russia. I'm actually watching Silas right now because he's now within about 100 meters of this mortar, maybe a little bit closer. He was scouting it out. I don't know if he knows yet. Silas's bodyguard is in one of the 2 stories, just kind of looking. The only issue with that is, I mean, it's good to get. He's up. He's vertical, but very few windows, so he might not even see Silas come up, and I think Hero might go down right here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, the buddy team that sort of slipped in between the Russians. One of them gets spotted immediately. Yag goes down. Tadashik is going to just immediately pull out. Where they decided to push up to, questionable. No cover whatsoever, just out in the open, a twig of a tree to their side. So I'm not sure why they decided this position in particular, but they lose 1 for their troubles, and that puts the Russians 5-2 in kills.
Definitely in between us and 1.
I doubt they set up that town. That's probably just remnants that they left behind.
So while squad 2 and 3 have continued to hold the peninsula for the Russians, squads 1 and 4 for the Russians have crossed the river, and they are pushing south to hit the edge of the map. So we're going to see a east to west push from squads 1 and 4, and a northeast to southwest push for squads 2 and 3. Not quite an L-shaped ambush or an L-shaped push, but as close to what you're going to get in this environment or this terrain.
I don't think Silas has spotted Hero. It's really hard. He can't. Hero's sort of like on the other side. He can see the top of the lodge, but I don't think. Yeah, he hasn't seen it yet. He's still running. They're going to go to the next hill. Hero's actually off the mortar now. So we'll see. Maybe he's done with his mortar missions, or just maybe they got called out.
So in the original skirmish that Tup's fire team had in the northwest on the IED hill, is what I'll call it for everybody to understand that, Tup actually went down. So in charge of his squad now is Storm, looks like. Yeah, it looks like Storm. And they've actually pushed into the rear of squads 2 and 3 for the Russians. And they are now running across the river, getting onto the peninsula that the full platoon for the Russians had crossed originally. So they're effectively in their flank, and this could be deadly if, depending on how disciplined his Tubbs team is with his
just outside that.
With his weapons. Like if they need to get close essentially to do some real damage.
Yeah, maybe 50 meters, maybe a little less than that.
I'd expect them all to, honestly.
Alright, we should have contact ready to our south,
Tup's
anywhere between 50 and 100 meters out.
Now being led by Storm. Like they've been constantly on the move, and I thought they were making some questionable moves looking for that mortar, but they were just bounding across a field, and then they got south. I'm not sure if that was Storm's call or if that was his platoon lead HML squad call. Still round 1 expit. It is still round 1. We are about 30 minutes into this round. Live was at 7:38. Yeah.
They're about 30 minutes.
Almost 40 minutes. Yeah, about 30 minutes in this round.
Looks like Silas was about 50 meters away. Missed the very top of the lodge, and now they're just moving south. So
does it make sense?
Looks like right now they still haven't found the mortar, and I don't know if they're going to continue to search anymore.
And then we're just collapsing it in.
Yeah, they just bypassed it. What Silas's squad has to, or fire team needs to, they need to get lucky, and Hero needs to actually shoot the mortar. I think that's the only way they're going to find it at this point. It looks like they're going to just re-hook up with squad 1 and just harass them. This looks impossible for us. Militia are set up pretty well. That is true, Hamdog. Militia are set up very, very well. I do like their position, especially for Squad 1 here. But it's going to come down to who can shoot better and who can actually see in this fog. Because, again, this is a very foggy map. We've boosted our gamma, and we actually have these outlines that make it super easy to see. So we can make fun of them all we want, but in reality, it can be very difficult to see anything here.
Yeah, militia just aside from Silas and one squad, the base, like at least half platoon is just chilling, waiting.
Yep.
It seems like no one wants to move right now. Even Russia, like, I don't know.
We're taking contact from the west.
Oh, it's like Silas squad finally engaging.
Yep, they take out one. They take out Amr Maltez.
Yep, east across the river.
It's behind you on my old position.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah,
so they're
Silas
shooting
is
at
hitting
these
in
guys.
DOS Desmond shooting, takes out Major Almatas. Almatas assault, nearly going down, having to run behind the back end of the hill. Silas' team's going to break contact.
Looks like Stormfront's gonna run into. Oh, these guys don't know. They're gonna run right into Stormfront's squad. This buddy team.
Saigo and Senpai. Yep, Saigo Senpai. They were on defense watching the northwest at IED Hill, and now they're being told to reconnect. Definitely going to run right into Storm's
They got
squad.
spotted.
Eyes up.
He saw us.
Saigo goes down.
He's dead. There's more there.
Northwest. Yeah, he's dead, but there's...
Jack, who just shot at us?
Alright, we are engaging contact to our northwest, about 50 meters out.
Copy that one.
Everyone good?
Frag out from Jive Gorilla. Going to land right on top of Senpai. Senpai goes down from Jive's bullet. Explosive grenade even goes off.
Command.
Go for command.
Would you like me to give that another logic run?
Sorry.
That's fine. Seems like it's clear off. It's left. Or do we want the one where it's taking contact?
Do we have enemies? Do we have enemies south?
Let's see logic. Do it for a run. See if they're there.
Yeah, we should have enemies south and to the west.
You got us.
Alright, guys.
Say again?
We had contact
So
up on the
Storm
ridge
has
line
his
to our
squad
west. We're gonna
pretty
still have
much
contact to our south. Bravo
taking
team,
up the
I want you to
space
take that ridge line to
the Russians
our...
had 2 squads in. And if they continue to push southwest, they're going to run right behind Squads 2 and Squads 3 for the Russians. But they're going to have to cross a lot of open ground that had once been held from Russians. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to, how much room they're going to be able to make from here, or how much ground they're going to be able to make from here. It all depends on how well the Russians can spot and shoot them.
Yeah,
For Russia losing a buddy team, it still seems like majority of them aren't even looking behind them.
Yeah, I don't feel that the Russians' rear security has just been on point. Those 2 guys that had gone down, Senpai and Sayoga, that was the only rear security that the entire Russian platoon had. 2 guys to watch the rear of like 30. Do get spotted. Some moose, national moose, starting to shoot at Sessa and Storm.
Oh no, I get not there, but looking at the map, I can see it. The Logi just ran into the wall of Russians.
We just disabled the enemy Logi.
E-Fink, the only man alive in this ambush, he's gonna take. There he goes. He's dead.
Oh yeah, they're gone. So Logi's taken.
Enemy Logi disabled.
Enemy fire team north.
Mortars are now going out. We'll have to see where they land. My guess is probably Stormfronts or possibly Silas's old location across the river. We'll have to see how fast information's getting over to Hero.
Is the Logi resupplying? Hamdog, the Logi was resupplying. I think it only got 3 Logi runs in, with the distance between their points in Maine was about 1,500 meters, so about 1.5 kilometers. And so it made it like a 5-minute trip one way. great ambush for the Logi, or against the Logi for the Russian team, bringing the kills to 9 kills for the Russians, 5 kills for the militia. Majority of the kills for the militia being had by Tup's team, or Tup's squad. Yeah, looking like 4 for them, and I think Silas's squad got 1 of those kills.
Silas has now heard the mortar again. The moment that happened, he's now gone back across the river. I think he's now crossed it like 3 or 4 times.
North, how's it look for
He
you guys?
wants this mortar. He wants to take it out.
Oh, we're starting to take fire now. One of my teams are.
Before the Russians get like complete eyes on
If you want, you can
enemy in like entrenched positions with these sandbags and stuff.
Pursuing mortars.
Because the points actually, or the buildings, the sandbags and things near the actual point are going to be
I want you to start
just juicy targets for the Russian mortars.
Your current position and
So
where I am.
it's a time game for Silas. He's got to get there before the Russians get closer.
Rog.
This is a very slow round. Yes, it is, Hamdog. Very, very slow round as the Russians just try and figure out the best way to position themselves for a good assault. Because the options are very limited when they choose this spot, this 3-hill defense. You can't come in from the north because of the open ground. The west is usually defended by the militia, so the only like real choice is coming in from the south. And to skirt the enemy defenses means you have to sort of take like a longer flank than normal.
Alright, copy.
So there's been a lot of maneuvering these first 30 minutes of the round.
Storm's coming up on.
My guy's calling out enemy contacts
They're
on the other side of the
they're hitting them again.
West of 3, maybe 50
Kind of like
meters.
mini hit and run tactics right now.
We're pretty close to
It's
the
like the
fob
3rd
at
time
this
it's happened now to Russia, and they're just still here.
Yeah, they're just not moving quickly. Storm squad Top squad led by Storm right now has done a great job so far, taking minimal casualties. I think they've only lost 2 in the engagement so far. 3 I should say. They've lost Storm, or they've lost Tup, they've lost Place Pond, and they've lost We Are Airborne. They've still got all their automatic rifles. They've lost their squad lead. Oh, they just lose 2 in that single grenade. Station 4.
Push south.
Maybe got a little too aggressive. Maybe a little too aggressive for what they've been doing, but they've really held up the U.S.
How's it going with your contact?
We got contact close in between me and the river here. We're dealing with it now.
Tracers.
It's like Russia's starting to get close in the south of the radio.
Yeah, squads 1 and 4 on the south are starting to come in range of infantrymen at the actual radio. Atomic taking shots where he knows infantrymen are, but it's very hard to actually make out anything. That's for sure.
Southeast moving to the south. Left to right. Southeast, left to right.
Okay, so
Copy.
Tups, then Storms, and now Jive Squad.
He's dead.
Have been called out. Hero's asking for their grid, so yeah, he's on the mortar. We'll have to see.
105.
We'll have to see if they send it for these 3 guys that are left.
I don't know who to cheer for. My cousin said to watch for him, but nothing else. Kuhelu, who's your cousin? We'll try and get a little sneak peek at him. I love watching guys, but it looks like there will be any spots for round 2 for me and stuff. I'm not sure, Hamdog. You can definitely hop in the pre-op channel and you can try and get eyes or try and get pulled in from there. And while I'm looking at Atomic, for those of you who are seeing this,
I swear to God, it hit me right in the throat, I swear.
A lot of our mods allow the use of these, like the marksman kit and the ACOG kit, because our mod team has actually disabled the zoom for them, and they're just essentially just different sites.
Could be at the road.
Get ready, guys.
So they're not using the marksman kit with the zoom. It's definitely just a
He's crawling.
Just a rifle, no zoom.
Okay, let's see if. Let's check back up on
6-8.
on the mortar
Let's check
hunters.
that to Bravo 13-9-2.
So they're in the right village again. I don't know if they've seen the. They see the logic. He has to see the logic now.
One, can you push up anymore?
Yeah, they have to see the logi. They've got 3 guys off the point here against 2. Should go down soon.
Roger. I don't want you to. Don't sacrifice your force just for me.
Looks like I don't know if he got. Oh yeah, his buddy just called it. Hero knows.
Alright, Command's got contact on him.
Yeah.
Copy. You want 2 to push back to you?
He's gonna hide. Hero's just gonna hide.
Pushing to me now.
What was it?
He's got his
Roger that,
bodyguard.
we're
Take
moving.
care of him.
Yep. And for
We
Cool
wiped out
Halo,
this one
I found your cousin.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna get spotted
Looks
by
like he cleaned
Silas.
up.
Alright, so
He got cleaned up by Storm's,
ineffective. Right
or
now.
he cleaned up Storm's squad or
Roger.
Tup's squad, leaving. Looks like they got 3 squads on the point and a fire team off of the point, looking for the radio. And Assault is actually pulling back. We've got Assault, Furtuous, and Clay J pulling back to help out Hero and his bodyguard. Hero's not sure how many people are actually trying to flank him and assault the mortar fob. So better safe than sorry. He's going to pull at least 3 guys back to help him. We'll see if that stalls the whole assault now. With him pulling so many guys back and Assault, literally the player Assault Squad 2 leaving his squad with a buddy team or a fire team, that sort of leaves the rest of his squad leaderless unless the next fire team.
Stand up 6 strong. We're holding position, more or less off.
Yeah, it looks like the assault on Hero is actually going to stall the whole push the Russian Tide.
250. Do like one small squirt.
Just one guy left of the mortar hunters. Desmond.
Commands 1.
1, go ahead.
Bottom third of the tree.
Roger, our squad lead went down, and we also have...
I can't put my weapon.
Looks like squad 1 went down. That was Londarts.
Cannot push west from here without getting cut down.
Alright, 1 and 4. You guys start holding up.
Roger.
Let me get to here to secure this area so I can get back on the mortars.
Is the contact south?
So I'm actually very pleased with Hype's brief of the situation to Hero. It's not a lot of times you hear a solid situation update from a fire team lead that's not "I'm dying, please help me" kind of thing. He gave them what happened, where it happened, and what his mission was and why he can't do it anymore. And then that gives Hero all the information he needs to sort of tell the rest of the squads to sort of hold up, wait, let's clear out the situation, and we'll figure it out from here. Dwarf getting cut down from a full squad down to 4. This is not good for Dwarf squad. They're just gonna have to continue to hold that south side.
Yeah, Russia still in the lead, but Militia's closing that gap really fast. Which kind of expected. These militias in the bushes, they just have to wait. It's a lot easier to see something moving when you're staying steady. So I expect this kill count to start to swing in favor of militia, as Russia has to slowly creep through the forest, not knowing which bush has a person in it or just a bush.
Yeah, and to update everybody on kills, you've got 18 kills for the Russians, 14 kills for the militia. So it has sort of exploded in activity since the last kill update, where the militia were down about 5 kills, and now the Russians militia are down about 4 kills, but they're in the more commanding position. The upper, they've got defenders advantage essentially.
What do you think I want to hear you guys on?
Yeah, I just gotta wait for 2 to get over here and clear this out.
And the fact that Hero pulled an entire squad off of the push is definitely going to stall everything out here, and we're going to go back to about another couple minutes of maneuvering, while we've got one guy left over here to deal with Yeah, Silas and the other guy who was here with him, or with Desmond, are dead. So it leaves Desmond alone, and a full squad out to get him.
A good perimeter sweep
Yeah,
all the way around these buildings.
they don't know if they're gonna sweep the city. They're gonna sweep around probably. It really just depends on when Desmond wants to come out of his little cabin. We'll see though. Maybe he'll get a sneaky shot on command. You know, we never know. But that guy in that window, he's probably gonna get spotted.
Sled V's looking right at.
Yeah, the moment he
Yep. That's a wooden building. Bulletman definitely works. Oh, it's Desmond shooting out. I was like, who's shooting all those bullets and missing him? That's because they're going the opposite direction. Desmond running out.
Yeah, he's about to run into about 6 guys.
I'm gonna say that's close to you. That's in between me and you.
Copy that.
Last seen at a red house. He ran out one of the barns. He was running right at you.
There he goes.
Yeah, clearly didn't see him. I thought he might have been going for a knife,
Copy,
but
we got one of them down.
he just completely didn't see him.
Clear here.
Gets flicked.
Next compound, keep clearing, boys. Keep clearing.
Alright, I'm gonna let you clear. I'm getting back on the mortars.
Copy.
Getting back on the mortars. They're gonna hopefully get squad 2 back into position. We're up to 21 kills for the Russians, 14 kills for the militia. So technically Russians still have the upper hand, but the militia are they just have to sit there and let the Russians come to them. The militia at this point can't get too aggressive. They need to either fire and fall back or fire and just hold their ground using the defensive structures that they've managed to build so far. Do Russians have any GLs left? They could be game changing. That is true. If the Russians have any GLs left, it definitely would be game changing. And got one. Ferduus is up. Little Charlie's up. And that's all they've got. They've got 2 GLs, and one of them is nowhere near the actual fob for the militia.
So mortars are coming out. I think they're coming out on the sandbags that Phoenix sees, the northeast side of the fob radius.
I believe so. You got Sugarheart, Pipe Pump, and Atomic pushing back. Yeah, they're running.
Command. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Barely not far enough, but it cleared off that fire team from this position.
3, how come? 3.
And command, those mortars need to go 1 grid west.
1 grid west.
In fact, you could probably do 2 grids west if you want to hit the center of the compound.
Hits that. He might actually get these guys if he actually adjusts correctly.
Yeah. Sugarheart, Atomic Peach, Pipe Funk, chilling out on these rocks here.
See how that goes.
We'll see.
That one landed like on top of Peach, but with a rock right above him. It's like it didn't hurt him.
Command, let's go 1 grid.
Yeah, it would landed just in front of Peach. Essentially, the correction was good to land on top of the sandbags. I don't believe Phoenix actually sees Atomic, Pipe Funk, and all these guys here. Maybe.
I think he sees the wires from the radio area. We'll have to see where these mortars keep adjusting to.
Yeah.
FYI, I'm gonna use this with these mortars unless I'm given specific coordinates.
I can't see anything specific to help you with.
That last mortar was pretty off. The 2 before that were much more on.
Alright.
Hold one.
Hey, command. All buildings have been cleared. Your perimeter looks good to go. You want me to push west and then south?
2, go ahead.
So MGs have been set up now. firing in. Actually, they're hurting people. It looks like we've got one guy hurt over here. Firing far east over fellow infantryman's head. Some good guidance on this MG from Mr. Saw. So both MGs placed on the north end of the defensive area, sort of to cut off any sort of approach from the north through the open fields.
So Russia's moved, platoons moved probably like 5 meters in the last 5 minutes. Kind of like this no man's land, about 150 meters between the two, and obviously Russia can just sit here. Russia, I'd like to see a little more aggression from them.
Yeah, I feel they think they can relax a little bit, knowing that there's not going to be any more building ever since they cut off the logistic supplies. But they've still got to push into hardened enemy areas, and it is their job to assault. Militia can just sit here as long as they want and just wait for the Russians to push them.
Yeah, let's see where these mortars land.
Down here.
Oh, double kill, Peach.
Yeah, right on top of them. Great mortar.
Do you see those?
I did. They appear to be landing kind of just on the northern end of their compound. Like if you were to shift whatever grid you send them to.
The second HMG is actually right there, south of those rocks, north of those rocks. Didn't see it earlier.
A4, they're just down there.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have good vision. Not too many trees for it.
Yeah, it's more to cut off any assault from the direct north, rather maybe the northeast. But I feel their better MG placement was the one further to their.
More mortars coming out. Shug, after seeing his buddies fall more, is running back. MG guy's just chilling. Those
Man, I
are
think
far
we
off.
get extra numbers down here on the south. We can actually push them.
It's all in the corrections.
It looks like not a whole lot of numbers.
This whole micro
And we have to
grid
escalate from the
down,
MGs.
micro grid, whatever. It's literally you look at where
Three sending a buddy team to get
the mortars
perfectly
are,
accurate marker for those mortars. Hold one.
and just he should realize that he's standing almost directly in line with the mortar and the point. So you look at it, go down to Phoenix's position here, where he's spotting from. He sees where they're landing, and the correction would be like 1 degree left. It's as easy as that. Not this whole microgrid and stuff just gets really confusing when you call in corrections. It's 1 degree left, 5 degrees or 5 meters to the left, and let him do the correction on his own. But it cannot get more simple than 1 degree left. That's the correction he wanted. They were landing just north of the sandbag CCs, and he wanted them to go just a little bit more south, like barely a touch.
Yeah, they're still trying to work these mortars, trying to get coordinates, and it's like 4-1 for Russia are grouping up a bit. The remnants of each squad. Got a full squad looking that way. Probably waiting for assault to get back.
This MG you said wasn't gonna do anything. Spotted little Charlie and little Joe on the north, and now who's riding this? Keystone has them in sights, and he's just pinning them down.
I didn't say it wouldn't do anything. I said the sight lines weren't like 360 weren't the best, but yeah, I mean,
yeah. To be fair,
ironic the moment I say something. So I mean, I guess I just have to say things that won't happen for them to happen. So definitely these mortars won't hit the fob and all the people on it.
Yeah, bag of Charlie, little Joe trying to engage back. Little Charlie, the GL, trying to engage Keystone here, and it's just not working out for him. Little Charlie's hidden
Mortars
trees.
out again.
Keystone's hidden trees. Yep, we'll see where these mortars land.
Yeah, hit the west
I think is Dwarf calling in this grid, so I believe it's going to hit somewhere here in the south. I lied. It's continuing to land where a position they've already cleared out.
Further west. Much further west.
Yeah, those were solid. Just started shifting them west.
And see, that was a good correction.
My guy was getting lit up by that Dishka.
Yeah, they're actually the first time you hit it there, they're giving the same correction. It's hard if you're not using a calculator or you are using like geometry and stuff. We're really focusing on all these sandbags, and there's really only 4 people here.
Very, very minimal amount of guys in the area. And not a lot of change in the kills. 23 for Russians, 14 for militia. Slowed down quite a bit ever since Dwarf or here HML pulled off those guys. No, sorry, Hero pulled off Squad 2 to sort of reinforce his position.
Sandbag emplacements on the rock at Bravo 1391, the east side of those rocks. Bravo 1391.
Well, he tried to go west, but went south.
Nice. So both MGs have sights on, or not. They know the general area of Wool Charlie and who's this here? Bag of Joe.
Yeah, they're just firing.
Yeah, they're firing. Little Charlie not able to peek up. Bag of Joe, same.
Yeah, it's been about 50 minutes, so they probably just want to shoot something.
Yeah, about 50 minutes into this round here. How's it going, K-Seal?
Commander, repeat that back to me.
246-1174. They're out. 3 rounds.
A-frame, Reg.
Command, I'm down to 3. I have a single enemy squad far west. Probably another 2 or 3 guys. But he's got us pinned down pretty good right now. He's expert shot.
Alright, and 4, go ahead and start holding.
We can smoke.
So Phoenix started giving actual coordinates, I guess, the milliradians and the degrees. Not any more effective. So it all comes down to who's spotting them, and the spotters just aren't on point right now.
It's really, I mean, at least for me, I have trouble spotting. Like, you can see the people, but trying to translate that to, like, unless they're on like a point of interest, it's really hard to get an accurate grid from far away.
Yeah, and I feel it's just how being able to adjust rather than do the grids, because you got to be able to do both. Give them the grid to get them in the area, and then being able to adjust them from there. It's just every method that he's tried just hasn't worked out. Hello, is this a night mod? Is this the night a mod or vanilla? Thanks, sir. This is a modded map. So we've added in the fog, we've added in the overcast, we've adjusted the lighting a little bit. So yeah, this is a modded layer. I believe there is a vanilla layer that is very similar to this, and it is the Gordok infantry layer. And I believe it is very similar in style here.
Alright, 1 round's a little off, the other 2 should be fine.
Reg.
They are just determined to hit these sandbags.
Time restraints, 2 and 3. I want you to start pushing on those contacts.
Oh, mortars are...
He said the first one would be off, second one would be better. Yeah, second one is better. It takes out Shugheart.
Take out Shug, so Peach and Shug going down the mortars.
Yeah, that's 3 kills for the mortars so far.
Command, those last mortars just killed 1 to 2 enemies, according to my forward observers.
Yeah, I can confirm sandbags went in the air on that.
Phoenix now has this buddy team.
Yeah, Bag of Joe and Little
Bag
Charlie.
of Joe, Little Charlie. They actually made it from all that HMG fire.
Yeah, they just skirted the water's edge, and they pushed up. And I believe whenever Phoenix was talking about his forward observers, this Bag of Joe is the one looking here. Little Charlie getting a little antsy.
Okay, so Russia's making their movement. Seems like the event admin has finally told them, yo, let's get going. So, and he even said, due to time constraints, we need to start moving. So, looks like Dorf, squad 4 and 1, are slowly advancing through this dark, dark forest that's filled with militia at every single tree.
When in reality it is 3 militia, 4 militia holding this flank.
If you don't, never mind.
We'll see.
All you
we'll
need.
See. Yeah, Big Can, CNC, and Lima Bean holding this eastern flank against, what's it look like, 9? 8.
Yeah, about 9 or 8.
Russia seems to have cut through the militia defense nice and slow. They are, well, nice and slow is key here. Very, very slow. They've been very methodical in their approach. 24 to 15 so far and kills to deaths. Yeah, shame we don't have 2 hours per round. That is a shame, Ham Dog.
Command is done with the mortars. Taking his vehicle.
Sounds good.
I think he might have flipped it off to go look. No, it's moving.
I think
they drove
he's
it
just
off
getting
the
it to the water's edge. He can't actually ride it across the river, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, he's going to get out and he's going to reconsolidate with his squad or his platoon, or what remains of this platoon. Going for a 2-pronged attack here, north and a south push. The south push, I feel, is where the real ground is going to be made, because with this,
Those HMGs are looking north.
Yeah.
So I honestly think south is probably, and they know that HMG's shooting at them over there.
Yeah, sorry, did I say north? I meant the south one. Where Dwarf is where the actual
Yeah, they're
ground is going to be made.
about to run into some little bush rookies.
Keystone gets off of one of the northern MGs, leaving Sergeant Rabbit on the last northern MG. And as they start to try and push through this open ground, this could be deadly.
Until I get there, one that's to northwest. Engage have you see bed.
So all these guys are bunched up right now.
Yeah, Squad 1 and Squad 4 have reached the actual position, the actual fob, like main emplacements. See if they can actually make any ground. Is Storm dead? Tup's entire squad has been wiped out. They were wiped out about 15 minutes ago, and when they got too aggressive on that northern peninsula.
Dorf gets flanked on bump. Yeah, but so bump just came and
out of here, kiddo.
Yeah, I went on to XF. They came from behind, or from their flank.
Watch north.
Yeah, and that fire team of 8 is now down to, or that squad of 8 is now down to 5. Hype is in charge of the squad now. Oh yeah, he's been in charge. Dorf has gone down.
Yeah, the remainder of this Dorf squad and Squad 1, they're just hugging their bellies to the ground, praying right now that there goes another one.
I don't think this is a well-timed push.
Yeah,
because the northern squad has not moved quickly enough, I feel, to make enough ground. Well, as we say that, Phoenix squad 2, no, Assault squad 2 pushed up to the sandbags that they tried so hard to mortar down earlier, now only being manned by 2 people.
You have contact Bravo 1385, that's 60 meters west of you.
Russians have 5 minutes to capture the hideout. So they're starting to push, they're starting to clear. The loss of the IDF is made so that the Russian has to go slow. They have no support to push through the contact or open spots. What does IDF mean? I feel like I know what that means. The flank slowed them down. Yeah, Tup squad your squad actually did a lot of work in slowing them down. So Keystone spots this squad on Assault's position. Bybee goes down over there on the side. One man now trying to push a squad off of the rocks. The MG position with Sergeant Rabbit is going to spot Phoenix's squad on the north, and we'll see if he's able to open fire. There's a giant rock in his way, though, so I don't think so. Keystone goes down, leaving Freeman here in his place.
Yeah, so that south push is now down to 3 people.
Fire. I don't know if it was the loss of indirect fire necessarily. It was the ineffectiveness of the indirect fire, I feel. Maybe if they had used smokes. I'm a big fan of smokes, especially on this map, on this layer, running through this open ground. Smokes and then an infantry push, I feel would have been way more effective than trying to just mortar something down. Because even if the smokes land in front, still blocking sight. If it's landed in the back, it still blocks sight. There's like the smokes are effective even if they don't land exactly where you need them to. Grenade goes out, hurts friendlies rather than the enemies, but Freeman still goes down to assault on the flank. Russians are pushing very hard, 29 to 21 on kills, Russian militia. And now the militia have some gas in their tank as they push through the eastern flank is being slowly picked apart. Yeah, Phoenix's squad has pushed north and then west, and they pushed onto Sergeant Rabbit's hill.
They might get on that HMG.
Yep, just us.
That actually might be very, very good for them. Sergeant Rabbit having a bandage right next to Little Charlie. Little Charlie's got to run up on him. No, Little Charlie does not run in front of him.
Yeah,
there he goes. He gets
And
taken
he
out
goes
in
down.
return. I was unsure how he didn't hear. Sergeant Rabbit was bandaging for a bit there. HML and Mr. Sauce going to pull back. It looks like an Alamo has been called onto the final point. Dr. Compton, BVD runner, the only two on the actual objective. HML, Mr. Sauce going to hit them in the rear. Hype and XF may see them, though. Yeah, I think XF sees them.
Russia's actually going to take the radio, sounds like. Or looks like. We'll have to see. There's only 2 guys on it right now for militia.
To me, it looks like the Russians are going to pull it off. The Russians have gotten very aggressive in these last couple minutes, and they might pull it off as BVD runner gets caught trying to run. ID goes out, doesn't kill anybody.
Guess there's on the wrong side of the hill.
Yeah, I think so.
If you got grenades, then pound them out.
One man left on the point. As I say that, Dr. Compton goes down, and Furtuous, the one to get the kill, leaves a full squad on the basically a full squad on the radio.
We got the
Phoenix
HMG command, I believe, is still up.
We're on the radio now, digging now. There fortifications around
Phoenix
the radio.
mans the MG. Takes out one. We've got Lima Bean, Big Can, CNC 3000, and HML, the only ones left for the militia. And now they are on the offense. They've got to clear out this radio.
Yeah, Russia's going to dig up this radio right here.
Lima Bean running
They
into
know
2.
Lima Bean's running in.
Takes out 1. Hype goes down. Play Jakes takes out Lima Bean in return.
Got 2 more down. I'm gonna bleed out. No bandage.
Hey, 3, what do you got?
Can you bandage me? Bandage me, someone? Can someone bandage me?
I think all we have left
3 has contacts
is
southeast.
HML and Big Can. I think that's it for militia.
Radio's down.
Yep, looks like Big Can, HML, the only ones left.
Copy that. I'm getting my guys online. We're gonna clear it.
I'm new to this game. Do you need mod or admin rights to view from above? Yes, Nick Serb, you do need to have admin rights on the server to go into admin cam, but it's all taken care of if you sign up squadops.gg, and all that's taken care of, and you'll get like the proper rights you need. Big Can goes down to the massive fire. Looks like squad 2.
The command is the last one left for militia.
Last Wednesday, Operation Black Ice, Storm managed to pull off a 1v13. It is now a 1v, I want to say 20. No, it's not that much. 1v, yeah, about 1v10, 1v12. Can he do the same?
He's already dropped 2. He's getting surrounded, though. They all know he's here. He's out in the open. Unlike last week, he's not in the bush.
start shooting these bushes. Tigers goes down.
Gets another one.
Can he? I'd be amazed.
He's got
We're down to
Phoenix behind him.
He's in one of these.
Salt's just
3. I think there's maybe
knows
one
he's in the
left, Shane.
bush.
He's in one of these
I
bushes.
see 5.
Yep.
Assault goes down. 4. There are only 4 Russians left.
They're just. Oh, Phoenix sees him.
Oh, I didn't see Phoenix. That was
that's
5. Yep.
It's a good effort. Yeah, that was pretty close. There's only like 5 up left.
Yeah. By the end, Militia almost brought it back. Here, HML almost managed to be the same kind of hero that Storm pulled Huff, but just not good enough, unfortunately. The Russians finally, after being told that they needed to move after so much time trying to get those mortars on target, they took out, I believe, 3 in the end, I want to say, with the mortars. So effective, but not as effective as I think they were hoping for it to be. But we'll have to see next round whether either side decides to use mortars again. For those of you interested in participating in our operations, you should check us out at squadops.gg. Sign up on the website for our Squad Ops Basic course. The next one will be on the 4th of October, I believe, so not on the website just yet. But check us out, squadops.gg, and you can sign up there, and you can get any information for our operations and our Discord and things like that from that website. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want to give us a follow at twitch.tv/squadops. We also upload our videos onto YouTube after they're streamed at youtube.com/squadops. We're going to take a very, very quick break as we swap sides and get ready for round 2. There will be one more round tonight, so stick around, guys. I'm ShadowedRitual with Silent, and we will be back in just a few minutes.
All right, gents, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to SOTT Basic. I'm your instructor today. It's Hammering Hutch. You guys can simply just call me Hutch. When we're suppressing an enemy target, the whole intent of that is to keep their heads down so an adjacent unit can maneuver onto them. All right, and during this process, we have a thing that happens automatically and organically within each, either whether it be buddy team or fire team, is there's no lull in the gunfire, thus talking guns. Open fire. Contact front. Alpha, bound. He sees me. I'm down. Bravo, down. I'm up. He sees me. I'm down. Alright, Bravo set. Alpha up. He sees me. I'm down. You're now in what is known as a file. You're now in what is known as a staggered column, and usually used when moving from one location to another where contact is imminent. Those are your basic formations that we utilize in Squad Ops. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course was created to ensure Squad Ops participants share the same knowledge and understanding of the use and applications of mission-specific weapons and the basic tactics involved in their deployment. The Automatic Rifleman. The Automatic Rifleman is the foundation of a fire team and/or squad. The job of the Automatic Rifleman is to deliver a high volume of prolonged, effective suppressing fire on enemy positions to allow the maneuver of friendly units during offensive operations and the repelling of enemy attacks in defensive operations. The Grenadier, a key member of the fire team and squad. The Grenadier is first and foremost a rifleman. who is capable of delivering accurate fire of both high explosive and smoke rounds on point and area targets at varying distances. One of the other added benefits of the Grenadier is to engage dead space, which is essentially an area that cannot be hit by direct fires. The light anti-tank gunner. Soldiers carrying light anti-tank weapons are, just as Grenadiers, riflemen first. They are the ideal infantry-based counter to both lightly armored and thin-skinned vehicles. At short, medium, and far distances, the rockets fired are a viable weapon against groups of infantry as well. The SOTT Advanced Weapons Systems course, although not a requirement, is highly encouraged for squad ops participants to join to expand their knowledge of how to utilize the tools that are given to us within squad.
Hold up, roadblock ahead. Shrek and Matt, move in to clear it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our Squad Ops One Life event. It is Wednesday, September 26th, and tonight we bring to you round 2 of Operation Sawtooth. So after a rather extended round 1 with a lot of maneuvering from the Russians that round and a lot of trying to get mortars on targets and things like that, we're back for a hopefully much quicker round as we have swapped sides and allowing each side to play the other. So Russians from last round are now playing militia and vice versa. Let's go ahead and go over command. Or I'm your commentator for the evening, Shadowed Ritual, joined today by with Silent. How's it going, Silent?
Going pretty good. Looking forward to this round. Hopefully it's a little bit quicker.
Yep. And in the background, we've got our multi-camera producer, Barton, doing a lot of good work for us. So for this round, we've got on the Russian side, platoon leader HML with his squad lead Sughart, Tup, Silas, and Bump. For the militia, we have platoon lead Hero with his squad leads Dwarf, Phoenix, Assault, and Londarts. So last round, I really felt like the militia had the better positioning overall for the most part. But right towards the end, whenever the Russians really got going, they just started to outshoot them in every aspect, especially the CQB environment. So it all comes down to like tactics and just the ability to shoot, and we'll see which matters a little bit more in this round as we get started. Guys are starting to join in. Camp or platoon leads starting to brief their squads, and we'll see what happens.
Bravo.
Hey, so Clay, are you gonna be the driver then, or do you want me to just drive solo?
Let's go ahead and go over a quick update on what this operation is about for those of you just joining us, and we'll even go out over the loadouts and whatnot that are available for this squad. I'm going to go ahead and quickly bring up the map for this operation. It is an attack-defend operation, Russian versus militia, and the Russians start at the Russian flag towards the middle of the map, and the militia are tasked with setting up a fob somewhere in the bottom rectangle. It says something activity, resistance activity. And the militia can set up anywhere in that rectangle as long as it is not inside of a building. So lumberyard is out of play when it comes to actually setting a fob and building in there. And so the Russians are attacking the militia. Then the militia are like camped out in the woods. The Russian assets include 2 fire team leads, 2 automatic riflemen, 1 grenadier, 1 medic per squad. They also get to choose a weapons squad option if they want, and it was chosen. So squad 4 is 1 squad lead, 2 fire team leads, 2 MGs, 4 riflemen. They also get 1 logistics truck and 1 mortar at a fob. Only a single mortar. They can't place down any defensive things or stuff like that. They can also decide the loadout for that fob or for that logi. So it's most likely going to be 300 build, the rest ammo, possibly 600 build, the rest ammo, depending if they're going to try and move the mortar. But that is definitely up to the Russians on that decision. For the militia, they get 2 fire team leads, 2 automatic riflemen, 2 light anti-tank, 1 medic per squad. And for the platoon, they get 2 scouts. So 2 IEDs, 2 mines. We'll see where they decide to put those. They get a single vehicle, a logistics truck, which they can use to run logistics back and forth from the fob to the radio or to main and sort of keep reinforcing their fob. At their resistance camp, their fob, they get 2 HMGs, 1 mortar, and various defensive structures, whether that be barbed wire, sandbags, oil barrels, things like that. So should see some good stuff out of the fob. I feel like we're going to get several more logi runs from the fob, considering the placement of the militia fob this round. Last round it was on the far west in the B13 keypad somewhere. Now it is on the far east in the G13 keypad. So about 1,000 meters further east, I want to say. Maybe even more than that. About 1,200 meters further east than.
They're on the far furthest east. They can go as militia. The start.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get several more runs, I feel, and should be interesting.
I mean, he used them last round. And he was like pretty focused on them,
militia
so I don't
second
see
most
why
action
he
militiamen,
wouldn't.
and it went at least Bob.
Yeah.
Especially on defense
they
when he doesn't have to
Bob
worry
with
about like the last round where every time he shot him he got out and kept looking around. Here he'll have a bunch of people to protect him. So we'll have to see if they'll. I hope they use the mortars.
Okay, let's just get experienced people.
It will help them
this.
out.
I agree.
I don't wanna
And
ruin
and on
some
the
first
other
time
side,
up
I'd
your
like to see
newbies.
I have
offensive
Hamdog.
smoke mortars.
Yeah,
I
just
feel
make
like those
them-
were underutilized last round, and if they were to do it this round, it would help them a lot in their maneuvering. And with that, the Russians are lining up for their brief, and I believe the militia may be lining up here soon. And we're going to try and catch a little bit of both if we can.
The back. We should be getting.
But we're going to go ahead and listen to the Russian brief.
Assuming he doesn't live. I really want to build a giant.
Alright, what we're going to be doing basically, we are searching for their fob, kind of like opposite of what we did. Or, yeah, opposite. We're doing what we did last round, sorry. Except we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking a different approach on things. So, first off, I'm going to go for Sug's squad. Sug's squad is going to be taking an element of his, a fire team. He's going to be pushing that element along those MGs on our west that you can see. He's going to be crossing the river, primarily playing for information on the west side. It is pretty hilly over there. He should be able to have eyes on some sort of element before he crosses. If he's got contact there before he crosses the river, then he just, you know, we know where they are. He's not going to do anything. He's just going to hold. He's just going to hold. But yeah, basically, he's going to be playing for information. Just once he gets, you know, on the far west end, he's just going to start pushing east, looking for their fob. And that's that. His other fire team is going to be with me, and they're going to be doing the mortars. I don't know if... Yeah, we're going to be doing the mortars somewhere in Desna, maybe north of Desna. The other squads in the east are going to be trying to ambushing their Logi from main. So we're going to bump on the sniper mark on the north end of the line, Silas in the center on the hat mark, and Tup on the MG mark south. So we're going to be holding there for no more than 5 minutes. Once we can, you know, safely say that the Logi is not coming back for another run, we're just going to start moving west until we find their line. So we're basically pincering them west. We're using Sug's element on the far west as a kind of information dice element, and we got mortars too. And I'm hoping that they're not using the fob location that we used, so that the mortars can be useful. Anyone have any questions on that?
Will the game drag out as long as last game?
Planning on not doing that, of course. Actually, this goes to everyone. If I die, I have no control over that. But if you are an FTL or if you are left alive, please do not, you know, go for long flanks. Just do what you can to complete the objective. Of course, if all the SLs are dead, including myself, there's nothing we can do about that. So, you know, your objective, no one wants to stay here for any longer than we have to. Let's, you know, make it quick. Let's get it in and out. And let's have fun. Any other questions?
Will there be borscht?
Sorry?
Nothing.
Borscht.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, any other questions? No? Alright. Chain of command is 4... Actually, no, never mind. Chain of command is 2... 2, 4, 3, 1.
No, it's going to be an east to west push with 3 squads and a west to east push with a single squad. They're going to try and pincer and sort of gather as much information as possible. So these 3 squads, squads 1, 2, and 3, pushing east to west, are going to come into contact way sooner than squad 4, who's going to be pushing west to east. So squad 4 is going to go through like 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters of ground before they even get close to any kind of contact. So they're gonna be running for a lot of this match, while the other squad's either gonna hold their position or actually push through the objective beforehand. We'll see what happens with that 4 squad, because they are the squad that has the MGs and everything like that. And Russians are ready for live. Live was called at 7:44, so we got about 2 minutes until then, and we can go ahead and check the militia placements of their squads. I assume Hero is going to do a individual squad briefs as he did first round, and let each squad give individual plans and whatnot. So we probably won't hear a full platoon brief.
Yeah, definitely what they're doing. They were like a little, didn't know exactly what they were going to do, but I kind of listened in. I think they're going to put 2 squads on the west side, one squad on the north, and that 4 squad, I don't know where they're going. I do know that he said he wants to build a humongous wall of sandbags. That's what he wants to do. So we'll see if this wall of sandbags will make Karma jealous or something like that.
Give Karma a run for his money, or even Pony a run for his money when it comes to building fobs. I assume they're going to use these open fields to their north and their east, the sort of in the same way that the militia last round used the river to their advantage, and forcing them to cross a lot of open ground before actually getting to any kind of cover, and making it very difficult for the Russians to move. Got about 45 seconds until live, and we will actually get to see which direction the militia move off to. Who we got driving the truck? Looks like Furtus and Hamdog going to be the drivers for this Logi truck, and they're going to get a couple runs in, I feel. I'm going to call... Oh, wow, they're insanely close compared to last round. They're going to get upwards of like 5 or 6 runs, I want to say.
They're like 1,500 meters compared to 3,000. So they're about half the distance, so probably 5-minute round trip instead of the 10-minute it took last time.
Yeah.
And it looks like Hamdog actually got in. I think he was chatting with us first round. So it looks like some space did open up for him, so that's good. Fortunately, he's a Logi driver, and a Logi driver's a kind of a thankless job. You know, like everyone needs it. They definitely need that Logi driver, but you know they're the real hero when it comes to this. Without him, there'll be no defenses and no HMGs, no mortars.
Is this PvP? Mohammed Anime Chakron. This is PvP. We are on 30v30 right now, looks like. Actually, it's 35v35. Give or take 1 or 2 on either side to make space for us commentators and our event admins and things like that. But this is player versus player.
Yep, so 1, 2, and 3, you guys are pretty much bomb rushing into 7 and getting an platoon line as fast as possible.
So yeah, we are live. The Logi is off. Militia sending, like I said, 1 squad to the north, 2 squads to the west, and 1 squad on the point. So
if you could have contact, just
2 guys 50 meters east. That's their eastern defenses. So I think you said 2 squads are attacking from the east for Russia. So really, it just depends on Londar's squad. Will they run into contact? Will they see that the squad's trying to cross the river who are trying to go east? If not, we could potentially see Russia sort of sneak in there, but we'll have to see what angle of attack they take to cross this river, and if Lon can see them or not.
Yeah, I agree, and it's actually 3 squads going to be coming in from the east. Sort of in a tactical blob at this point, just booking it east, as far east as they possibly can. But their plan is for 3 squads to push from east to west, and a single squad to come in from the west. So we will see what's going on. The squad have a hostage rescue mission. Red Freedom, there are at least...
Hopefully he'll be
there's
back.
1 not hostage, but it's like high-value target rescue mission. It's in Al-Basra. I forget the name of it. Broken Arrow. I think Broken Arrow.
We also have another one too that I think we did.
Up in my ear.
Might have been a firefight. It was actually on Goroduck as well.
All good.
It's kind of hard to do hostage because you can't talk to the other team. But so usually we get 2 actors to just sit there, and it's to be honest, it's kind of boring sitting there for 2 hours with your bandages out and not able to do anything. But the players like it, and that's why we put them on. But yeah, we do have a few of them where the team has to try and get contact with them and try and rescue them.
Toaster Struchen on point for the main Russian elements of squads 1, 2, and 3. Squads 4 making time. I don't want to say good time or bad time. They're moving west away from the enemy, and they're only going to start moving east. So they're going to be out of this round for at least the next 20 minutes. And we'll see how soon Russians come into contact.
Okay, so this north squad for militia, Lon, the position he's in, he's completely blind to his north. And it looks like 27 players are about to cross the river north of him. So I think Russia's gonna get across. Looks like we would have had an accidental discharge somewhere. But yeah, so we'll have to see. It's now just Lon, and kind of blind to the north, so I think Rush is actually gonna be able to get in pretty close with to see what type of angle and how far east they go first.
I agree. Cool Halo. Whose squad is Frodo's on? Sorry for being a bother. You're not a bother. And we actually mentioned him earlier because he got stuck on Logi duty, so he's in squad 2, but he'll be driving the Logi for a bit. They just got back to main and they're already on the way back to the fob, almost halfway back to the fob at this point. So the efficiency and time from point to point is just disgusting right now for that Logi, and we should see a lot of building going on for the militia.
So Rush is crossing the river now.
Squad 1 led by Bump already at the river and getting ready to cross. Squad 1 for the militia has no idea.
Yep, 2 squads with
crossing.
them. Lon's kind of moving a little more northeast. I think he knows you can't see north. So I think he's just trying to get better eyes. So we'll have to see. Maybe he'll see some movement between the trees. Maybe Rush will keep going east and get around them.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 2.
Squad 1 is already across the river and they're moving south almost. Squads 2 and 3 are just getting to the river and beginning their cross. And just from the way they're positioning themselves, I feel like they're going to move a little more east before pushing south. Squad 1 is moving almost into, I believe this is Soloninki.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some Squad 1 on Squad 1 action shortly. Bump, SL leading the way. Not the most ideal thing for an SL. So if he goes down, someone else has got to take over. But yeah, we'll just have to see. They're on making a straight path for lawn darts right now. He's kind of out there with XF, his medic. To his north and about 50 meters to his southwest, he's got the rest of his squad. So HML's Bump's kind of leading the way. Lawn darts is out there, so let's see how many SL survive this.
It's a bad habit for a lot of especially the newer squad leads who feel like to get people to move, you got to be in front to get them to follow you. And in our operations, it's not always the best. You never want to be the first guy in your squad to go down. And it looks like Lawn Darts is going to see Bump.
Lawn's going to see Bump.
Bump is so far ahead of his squad
He has to see them.
Going to run past XF now, too. XF's going to take this shot. He's too greedy not to. He's hiding. I don't believe it.
Yeah, Bump's just chatting right now. They're just talking. He knows.
He told Toaster to get ahead of him, so he's not gonna try and lead from the front now. But I mean, if you're still a foot behind this guy,
It's a tree.
never mind. Follow me.
Okay, so Lawn's squad is kind of moving. Dorf squad all in the far west is third.
Frag out from XF. Takes out 3.
Wow.
Oh my god. Toaster Streets, Boogeyman, and Bump go down to XF's grenade. Holy shit, that's a way to start off the round. That was good. Good job,
Guys, direct
XF.
north, coming in.
You got a fourth as well.
Guys in the village, also far north.
Wow. Oh, yeah, there goes the 4th, too. I just saw that body. So 4 down in the immediate firefight. XF is going to pull back. He's done his job. Wow.
Copy that 3, edge hold through. We're gonna mortars down in a second.
XF rather pleased with himself. And good job on him for getting that grenade. I definitely, knowing XF and his personality, I would have pictured him to have taken the shots to get the first guy right off the bat and then blown his cover. But the trigger discipline there to realize they're going to get within grenade range and then to toss that grenade right where it needed to was just on point. Squad 2 is now stalled on the north. Squad 3, Top Squad, says he's going to get into the line formation now as he moves a little further east of 2 and is going to push.
XF is not done. He's got a 5th, but he's now feeling it, getting a little greedy.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get a little too aggressive. He's shooting at a rock. And I literally think that's to get them to move so he can see. He doesn't know exactly where. Oh, XF goes down.
Yeah.
Lima Bean takes him out.
But I think, what, 5? Let me look. What squad's he on? Yeah, he got 5 kills, so nicely done for him.
Who's your guys' bet? Right now, XF has done some work, but with XF going down, Monarch's going to pull back from the position and cede this ground and allow Squad 1 for the Russians to catch a reprise here as the rest of the platoon moves to get online with them. It looks like World War III new upcoming game, but no tanks. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mohammed.
Two's maneuvering on the we're gonna keep using the riverbed.
Well, there's an upcoming, like, multiplayer game. I've seen some trailers. I think it's like a Battlefield type of game, but yeah, we'll have to see. I think it's coming from like a small studio as well.
Are you down, Keith? Are you up?
No, I'm up. My heart's still pumping from that grenade. You heard Bump hear the grenade land, yell it. He just couldn't make the distance up, and him and 3 others go down in return. The line is starting to take shape for.
Yeah, Silas squad for Russia. They're kind of surrounding or getting around Londarts a bit.
They take 1 out. So that's 5 kills for the militia, all of them silent or XF, and 2 kills for the Russians. The Silas squad continues to push and be aggressive. I love the aggressiveness from Silas squad to recognize that these guys are starting to pull back, and if they push their advantage, they can shoot some guys while they're facing away from them.
Yeah, Londart squad is separated by this road. 3 on each side, so we'll see if they can find a way to link up.
Fire team leads are taking charge of their squads here near Silas. It looks like Donut Joe's in charge of this, and I love it when the fire teams actually do what their job is, and is to lead the fire team, not rely on the squad lead to give orders and directions, and sort of take it upon themselves to position their guys where they need.
So all of the defenses, not all of them, but Dors has left the west, moved towards the east of the FOB. Mortars out right now.
Whose mortars are those?
That's Russia's mortars. Yeah, I guess you did say one squad would be attacking from the west, but they are they're like 1,500 meters out right now.
Yeah,
We'll
they're
see
not
them
in this
10
fight
minutes.
for a while. Yeah, at least.
Oh, mortars are actually pretty close. Not close enough.
Not close enough, but for trying to catch a running target,
Yeah.
I mean, I take
It looks
that.
like the Golf 1397 and it's
That grenade though, right, Boogeyman?
I got
That grenade
contact
though.
at wooden barricade. Currently, it looks like Hotel 1243. I don't know if that's still in or not. I see wooden walls.
Copy that. It is. Oh no, negative. That is part of the bunker compound at Hotel
So
1216.
where the mortars landed is where Tap is seeing the these bunkers, and he was under the impression that those were built,
fire mortars at
but those are part of the map.
1397.
Yeah, you might be seeing like the wood walls. So I think it's the same walls that militia can build.
Command, it's going to take us a while to get back to things.
Alright, we're gonna just hugging this other side of this
Okay,
ridge
some more mortars out.
continuing to push south.
Sugarheart has made some good progress so far, and it's probably still going to be about 10 minutes. Squad on the west, that weapon squad, they've got a lot of movement to start on. And with Squad 1 losing so many right off of the bat, that sort of ruins the flank that had happened, or that wants to go on. That line is going to be very thin now, or very short, one of the two.
2, are you taking contacts?
We're engaging fire off contacts.
So Squad 2 sees Militia Squad 2 on the far western hill, and they're laying down some pretty accurate fire.
Yeah, I don't think they've hit anyone yet, though.
Yeah. They just hit the rocks right below them.
I'm firing orders at Fox 1375.
Well, the mortars are, if they go out, that was an accurate grid on who Silas was shooting on. So we'll have to see if he actually fires those. But if he does, potentially get these guys just chilling here. Yep, here come the mortars. I think.
Alright, mortars out of Fox 1375. 20 seconds till
Fox
splash.
1375.
It's
what it was called?
It's pretty close. If he maybe overshoots a little bit, he'll get it.
Alright, 2. Try to hold there if you can. Let's wait for 3 to get a little bit closer so you guys support each other.
These mortars land.
We also gotta wait for 4. You guys are right onto their fob. We wanna wait for 4 to get closer. So hold fun. Push a little further.
That last one was barely not far enough. Wow. Mortars are on point this time. Or the assault mortars are being a little more effective, I feel. Still, I'd love to see some smokes. Me personally, towards the end, I want to see some smokes and a good old infantry push. Toaster, how many did it get? The XF took out 3 with the grenade and then took out 2 more with his rifle before eventually getting taken out.
Militia's coming back with a Logi.
Can we get
They've
more grid locations?
got a lot of sandbags. I see some HMGs.
Contacts pulled.
At least 1, 2. Don't know if they have a mortar.
4, you're
out.
coming up on their rear. I believe their fob is in Echo 13, Fox 13, somewhere over there. So 4, you are getting a lot closer. So start playing it safe. Look out for information.
So Russia command thinks the fob is about 600 meters off where it's actually really at.
Yeah, the grenade took out 3 and then XF took out 2 more.
Let's get a wide spread on each of them. You can cross the road if it means safety and cover.
I want you guys on this side, 2 guys, and
So Squad 3 is getting in position on the east, and instead of a north to south formation with 1, 2, 3, north going south, it is now 1 and 3, or what remains of 1, on the east, forming a north to south line, and then they're going to try and push west. So Squad 2, nowhere near where their originally position is supposed to be, and they're actually pushing Militia Squad 2 from the northwest. No plan survives contact with the enemy, as Squad 2 is completely broken off from that original plan. Is now actively pushing for Militia Squad 2 for some reason.
Talk to me. What's going on? Who's engaged?
He's being engaged from long distance contact. We're pretty much pinned down right here. We can maneuver, but we're just waiting for the rest of the platoon to catch up.
Copy that. Can you give me any sort of good location?
See how pretty much all of militia.
Negative. It looked like
Pretty close to the radio, except for Assault Squad 2. Kind of between Russia, so we'll have to see what happens once Sugar gets closer to him. He'll kind of be getting pinched. He knows that Silas is to his east at a far distance.
Squad 4 still about 400 to 600 meters from contact, depending on if he stays on the southern edge of the map and moves toward or takes out Squad 2 or gets all the way to the fob.
Okay, mortar's going out for Assault's SL. He's the only one on that position, exactly right where he's calling it. So we'll see if this mortar is hunting out some SLs.
I like how Silas said that he's pretty much pinned down from long range fire and he can't maneuver, when Silas was the aggressor in all of this. I don't think Assault Squad had actually fired any.
There it is.
Mortar lands right on Assault's face. That was beautiful. Good mortar by Hero that round.
Clay J promoted. You've been promoted in the field, Clay J. He's been in tons of ops, so it should be fine for them.
Copy that. Alright, disregard us. They might actually be in Gulf 13.
Lots of good movement, or lots of good mortars from the Russians this round. Very, very impressed by that. Squad 2 is now going to start to try and push into the enemy position on the northwest. Squad 3 and a remainder of Squad 1 are still on the east, still a little too blobbed up for my liking. I'd like to see them spread out this line a little bit, so that way it gives them a few more angles to fire from. but I can understand the hesitation at this point. They're still waiting for. I think they're mostly waiting for Squad 4 to get in the action, as they've still got about 400 meters to run.
So after their SL got vaporized by that mortar, they are now all falling back. I don't know where these next mortars are coming out, but Russia's 20 meters.
Command, be advised. We have positive ID on sandbags and placement.
Okay, Silas is calling it out.
Get ready to shoot him. Solid copy, Golf 1361, that is.
No, grenade launchers.
There, copy that.
It's actually pretty accurate, Mark.
What happened? Did Russian Squad 1 get wiped out? Russian Squad 1, Cool Halo, got all but wiped out. They lost like 5 or 6 in a quick skirmish with XF and Londart's squad. Then they're sort of down to like 4 guys now, and they sort of reconnected with Squad 3 led by Tap.
See a hype, Goon, just 20 meters from Silas' squad, just waiting. Silas has called in Hotel 1355. There's nothing there. A little north, 20 meters north.
We found the lodge route.
They heard the lodge.
Gunner goes down. GG Gunner got sniped between the sides.
Like Dynamics XF, I definitely expected you to shoot earlier. I did not expect you to have the patience to wait for that grenade, for them to get in a grenade range. But it was a pretty solid grenade. Mortars not being effective with these last 2 volleys, just not going far enough.
If he listens to Silas, these next ones
right now, everyone's just pushing it. If you need
effective.
mortars, let me
They
know.
should be effective.
Very oversaturated on this spot here. This looks like 2 squads right around the immediate area of the fob.
Okay, here come the mortars. Let's see if he's listening to Silas's coordinates, and if so, they should splash on lawn darts. We'll have to see.
Two's just trying to keep these guys busy so you can maneuver on them. We're taking heavy contact over here.
Yeah.
Right on lawn darts.
These lawn darts and
These
Sethcon
mortars
go
are
down
just-
to those mortars.
Just hunting the SLs today.
Yeah, who's on these mortars now? It's not HML. Who does he have actually manning it? It looks like Mr. Sauce. This is the one manning it. He's got 3 kills now.
Hotel 1319. Just to eyeball him.
Hotel 1319.
Good, Mark. Well, I mean, at this point, he's 100% accurate. You know. So he might. I'm guessing probably has a calculator, which is allowed. Probably the calculator that actually calculates elevation. Just need to tilt the grid and boom, it's 100% accurate. It's pretty spooky how accurate it is.
Alright, dropping
So
Hotel
we'll
1319, 20 seconds.
We'll see what happens with Dorth. He's right there. Maybe this will be 3 for 3 on SLs with mortars.
Imagine sniping the chain of command with mortars.
Oh, hit the tree!
Blocked by the tree!
Oh, Dorf would have been there.
Good mortars.
Oh my god. These mortars.
Dorf was the only one that ran away, and it actually saved him. But that would have been our third SL if he didn't.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That first one, yeah, if didn't get blocked by the tree, definitely would have killed. Well, I don't know if it definitely would have killed. Dwarf started running as soon as he heard the splash. He started running south. 3 of his squad, not quick enough.
Currently firing mortars.
That's 6 kills for the mortars.
1361, 15 seconds till splash.
I did not catch where he.
I think Golf 13-6 near the fob. We'll have to.
No,
that was way off.
Alright, firing mortars at Hotel 1315.
Wait, how many mortars are you dropping?
There's no one there right now, but Dorf's kind of walking in that spot.
When did they go out?
Oh, that'd be hilarious if he walks into the spot. There was no one. There's no one there.
30 seconds till splash.
But now there is.
Alright, I had some splash down here.
Oh, he's getting closer to it too.
I don't know if that's just not all.
That was not us, that was enemy. Yeah, mortars firing at Hotel 13, 1-5, 5 seconds to splash. Give me more.
There he goes. Third assault.
Again, 5 is currently.
Oh my god, these
There was
mortars.
no one there. There was no one there when the courier came in. It just happened. Just bad luck. Just happened to walk in.
Copy that.
Yeah.
We'll keep racking them.
Okay, well, Hero's now
Finally.
got his mortars up. I think he's had enough.
They're trying to counter battery at this point. I feel like they're done with these mortars. That's 7 kills for
Oh,
the
that's
mortar
going
guy.
on Silas. Very close. Almost got Jake Carranza, who was our first down first round. Almost died in mortar.
Oh, he's running. He's running. They make it out, no problem. But I feel like the rest of his squad really got cut down. Yeah. Squad 2 down
Got
to
more
2
mortars
guys.
coming out from Russia. Then mortars coming out from militia as well.
3, I'm sending my last guy up with you, get a medic.
All of the guys in one central point. And with how effective these mortars have been, being all in the same spot like this is just not a good idea.
If they can get eyes on the Hab or... Oh, dude, those mortars from militia just snipes
CNC 3000 goes down.
Yeah, but if Russian could get these mortars on the Hab or the FOB proper... Dude, these guys are 2 meters apart, 3 meters apart. They just wipe these guys.
There's definitely not enough bunkers, indirect fire bunkers, to house everybody here. So it's going to be a fight. And Squad 4 is in this now. They finally got it in range. They've been running. We are 25 minutes into this match, and they're just now getting here. They get a kill. Looks like Mr. Moneyman on that MG gets a kill. So good job on them. Gonna draw a lot of pressure from the west.
Mortars coming out on our last remaining original squad lead, right on top of this location. So I think this will be a first if of all 4 squad leads going down to mortars. If this actually drops, I think they're now correcting.
Hotel 13, 1-6. Copy that.
So tap C. Oh.
Yeah, Tup's throwing wrong coordinates.
He's giving out coordinates for what he thinks is the logistics truck.
We're aggressively pushing.
These mortars are on target.
Ooh, it almost hit Phoenix in the indirect fire shelter.
Could use a little more dispersion.
Phoenix not wanting to be that 4 squad lead to go down to mortars. Hiding in that indirect fire shelter, rightfully so. They just need to saturate this area now. So just spread it and just fucking go for it. While Squad 3 and remainder of Squad 1 get right up on the FOB. They are now on the hill to the east, and they're going to have some great overwatch position as tracers start to go out. They've got the high ground, and they've got the GL.
20 seconds push.
Mortars.
It really limits what the militia can do. Like if they go west to get out of the mortars, they're gonna come into contact with 3 and 1. If they go east, if they go east, it's 3 and 1. If they go west, it's 4. If they stay in spot, it's the mortars. Like, what are they gonna do?
9 kills already.
Stop telling guys to spread out. You don't want to get killed by the same grenade. They learned about that earlier. Is Furtivus dead? Is he? No, he is not. He was driving the lodge. It doesn't look like he's driving it anymore. And he's just in this clump of red you see. Running for his life. We've got 5 people in the same, including Furtivus, in the same indirect fire shelter. No, 6. 7. Oh, they are just clumped up.
Currently for mortars at Gulf 13, 2-3, 15 seconds on splash.
Gulf 13, 2-3.
I fire more rounds at. Oh, wrong comes.
There's nothing there, but Phoenix is kind of walking into it. He's not going back.
They gotta move them east. Somebody in Squad 3 has to correct these. Frag round goes out, doesn't take anybody. Somebody from Squad 3 or 1 has to see this. Storm has to see this. Lex Ryan has to see this. They got it correct. They got it correct.
Watch your heads, guys. Holy shit.
There goes one. After starting to take a little bit of health here and there if every GL that gets lobbed.
It's overwhelming the militia right now. Mortars. I don't know who's correcting these mortars now. After 9 kills, I've expected so much.
Yeah, I think no one's calling in.
Yeah, and like I'm over Squad 3 lead's shoulder right now. He can correct these. He's just not.
Firing mortar Golf 13-3-2.
Okay. This is it right here. So this should take out an FTL that's now squad lead. I think he's down to 1 round left, he said, so this is going to be it for Mortars, I think.
Calling corrections now. Let's see if these land. Nobody's in indirect fire shelters. 2. Nope, only 1. Was it literally only 1 round?
I think they might be done. Revy, sliver of health.
Gonna fire another round at Golf 13-2-3.
Okay, they're gonna Golf 13-2-3 again. Yeah, there's no one there.
Yet. Squad 4 has made good progress on the west. Squad 3 has made good progress on the east.
Be advised, firing orders at Golf 13-2-3. Be advised, 4-3.
Update on kills. 18 kills for the Russians, 15 kills for the militia.
50 meters.
Still very, very close in terms of kills. Just it's not looking good for the militia as the Russians are completely surrounding their position. GLs are doing a lot of work, blowing up sandbags, just chipping away at health, making it very, very difficult for the militia to do anything, including peek out.
The militia's got 2 guys outside of the radio. Everyone else is here. At the fob. I think mortars might be done for Russia.
Get it called.
Oh,
no. Got to think in relation to
got another.
Alright, 3, keep trying to support
Another
4
round out.
as 4 advances. We got maybe 1 more mag of ammo left. This is the last one, so give me a good grid on sandbags.
Oh, 2 guys flanking. The chairman and Hype actually managed to get onto the northern flank of Squad 3.
Alright, firing final mortars at Golf 13-6-1, then I'm gonna mount up and join you guys.
I think it's because he lost one in that direction.
Yeah, there's a body over there.
What's up, Chris Jones? First, second round. This is second round towards the end at this point, as the militia are slowly being circled by the Russians, and they have very few guys on the actual flanks at this point. And as long as Tup can deal with those 2 guys, Chairman and Hype, it's not looking good for militia.
So I think that's it now for mortars for Russia.
Copy that. We've dumped all of our ammo. We're gonna join you guys on the north. Do our best over here. Try to work with 3 as best as you can.
I'd like to hear more communication between 4 and 3. And as Atomic Peach takes over command of Squad 4,
Tup goes down.
I expect this communication to pick up. Oh, as I say, the Tup goes down to Chairman and Hype. But I feel like this push on the south could have been more effective if 4 and 3 had been communicating. There's a lot of good communication between 4 in command and 3 in command, just not between the individual squads. And I feel like that's why 3 has been stuck on the seal near the logistics truck for about 5 minutes now.
So Russia's got 23 kills, Militia's got 18, so only 5 more kills for Russia, and it's pretty even. 4 people coming from the mortars, so it's even right now. We'll have to see what happens. Attacking this huge fort of sandbags now without mortars is probably going to be kind of hard. I'm sure some of them are running low on ammo. So even with how deadly these mortars have been, it's quite possible that militia's still going to pull this out. Really, I think it depends on nades. If people still have nades or over sandbags, people are still grouped up.
Grenadiers landed some good shots. Exact numbers is 13 versus 9 at this point. I just saw 1 go down for the Russians versus militia.
Yeah, Russia's got 4 of them with command included in that. About probably 5-10 minutes out.
Yeah, so they're still a bit out. So in the immediate area, it's actually almost dead even when you think about it. If those guys aren't here quick enough, they could come to a fully dead platoon, and they'd be the last 4 left, which is not ideal. Squad 1 for the win. Squad 1 got 11 kills this round. So Squad 1 did pretty good for the militia. But will it be enough? That's the question.
Okay, Pipe Funk. First soldier for Russia getting up there. He has become the snake. Throwing a frag.
Right on top of somebody.
Yeah, nationwide moose goes down.
Good grenade.
Just doing the snake. It works. I do it all the time. It's really hard to see when you're proning. So he's probably gonna get a couple more kills. We'll have to see. They obviously don't know where that nade came from.
And Hype and Chairman have actually come up on the flank. They take out 2 more, looks like. And if these guys on the east don't start to look, if Jive's squad, Jive calls out they're being flanked. But they've lost quite a few guys to this Chairman and Hype. So this could be deadly for them.
Peach goes down. Left squad 4, free man. So that's southwest. No bueno. We'll see. Squad 3 now has 4 left, looks like. And then you got squad 7. So
9 guys total.
23 25 now, so a 5 kill difference for Russia's now just 2. Yeah, I honestly think Russia's going to take this with all those sandbags. Most of the GLs have been either down or have used them all. It's going to be very close, but I think in the end, this defender's advantage is going to prevail.
Yep, 9 Russians versus 8 U.S. or militia exactly. One of those militia being hurt, or one of those Russians being hurt. So Russians still up by 1. Nope, it's now even as this Chairman and Hype flank have been just disgusting.
Yeah, that 2-man flank.
Chairman up to 2 kills. Where's Hype?
Yeah, Jive, you have a full element on your north. I just seen him walk over.
They just killed Lima.
There you go. Hype goes down. I can't find
6
him.
kills, not bad.
Oh yeah, 8 kills total on this flank. So that's that 2-man flank just did a lot of work.
Alright guys, that's pretty much it. Let's push. Let's go through the smoke. We're screwed here.
Alright, we're from the north now.
Alright, we're gonna go while we still have smoke.
Jive calling push while we still got smoke. So Jive, Menotius, and J. Carranza start to push.
First one dead. First round. One of the last ones left. Second round.
Immediately spotted by the militia. Serpentine drive. Serpentine as he gets up to the wall. And let's see. It's all down to the shooting now.
Copy that. We're pushing forward as well.
Oh, frag goes out. Doesn't take anybody. Just a little too short.
Jive got one. He's now pushing. Thankfully, no one's left on his left side as there was before.
Drive goes down to Hertz.
And his buddy went down as well. I think we just got Jay Carranza crawling. Freeman hasn't moved the last 5 minutes. He's also like at 20% health, so that's probably super dark for him. And then we got Command and his 3 buddies, Mr. Sauce, I believe, 9 kills. Yeah, with those mortars. 3 of those SLs.
Throw nades over, throw nades inside.
Nade's going over.
Frag out. 150.
Fragged out. Let's see if they're effective. Sunny push on a flank, sees Bybee, takes out Bybee, sees Mr. Sauce, doesn't take him out.
It's to the east, contact to the east.
I'm in the
Copy that. Throw your smokes to make him, hallucinate a little bit. You know, we want to make this crazy. Jeez, are you okay, Sauce?
Look at all these sandbags just explode.
There's still a lot of contact to the east.
I think HML's gonna see Sunny.
Yeah, HML's looking
Oh,
for
Sunny
now.
sees him.
They lose Mr. Sauce, Keystone, and yeah, I don't know if Freeman even thinks he's still alive or what's he doing.
Am I last? Hello?
I'm in.
Okay.
They're scared. Chairman takes taken out by Jay Carranza. Jay Carranza gonna bleed out.
Or is he still up?
No, he
No,
bled
he's
out.
down. He's down. I think he might have traded.
No, he was at Orange House for a little bit before eventually dying. So yeah. Frag grenade goes out, takes out Lord Chanka. Keystone threw the grenade. Mr. Sauce and Keystone making some work. Leaves 4 versus 2.
4 versus 3 right now. 4 versus 2 now.
Yeah.
Freeman is working his way.
It's a
Sauce up
close
to
round.
10 kills.
Hello? Anyone?
Who's that being aggressive? Yep, that's Sunny. Classic Sunny. Here he goes. He's gonna come behind Mr. Sauce. Gets him with a pistol.
I think Sunny was out of ammo. And now it's Freeman. Gonna need to get the move on. Gonna pop some smoke. And he's gonna charge forward.
Gonna
Overall
charge
kills.
as a snake.
So Sunny, I think Mr. Sauce was the guy on the mortars. Ended up with 10 kills total.
Yeah, 9 kills from
maybe
mortars.
1 or 2 of those.
Yeah, 9 kills from mortars, 1 from just being at the fob.
So mortars definitely way more effective this round. It's just kind of the same problem that happened at the beginning of last round for the Russians, where they it just didn't have proper rear security, and they managed to get flanked by Hype and Chairman, and they cleaned up. They got about 8 or 9 kills between the 2 of them. XF squad, XF right off the bat getting 5-6 kills with those grenades and just key rifle kills really helped the militia hold off for as long as they did. And I didn't really feel like the militia had this one in the bag. They really brought it back towards the end.
1v3. This is doable. I mean, he is low health. I mean,
and he's got the MG. You're not going to see any good kind of hip firing here. Unless he pulls out his pistol. We'll see. I'm not writing him off just yet. I'm just explaining why I feel the militia were able to bring this one back, even though I felt the Russians were in the driver's seat for the most part.
He's gonna get spotted.
Spotted by Hero.
I think that might be it.
Storm 13v1 a couple
Yep,
weeks ago. It
that's
was
it.
last week. Exactly, Tritz. It was last Wednesday. And that is GG
Very
for
close.
the round. Sunny, Hero, and Hertz. Last one's up for the Militia. Great job on for this game. Very, very close. Much quicker, that's for sure. But still action-packed the entire time as the mortars were just so effective for the Russians. Militia counter battery, not so much, but their flankings toward the end were just on point when they sent those two-man flanks out to sort of clear it out and managing to stay off the point as much as they could, even though they had 10, 15 guys on that last objective. But that about wraps it up for us here at Squad Ops. If you want to participate in these operations, you should check us out at squadops.gg. From there, sign up for our basic training on the calendar. And then you can, after finishing the basic, then you can participate in any and all of our events for the month. Next Wednesday, though, for those of you who are not sure if you're interested in Squad Ops or don't have the time to make that Wednesday or make that Thursday event, next Wednesday, October 3rd, we will be having our one open operation for the month. You do not need basic training next Wednesday, October 3rd, and it is Operation Cemetery Hill, I believe. So if you're interested in participating in Squad Ops and want to give it a try, check us out, squadops.gg. If you liked what you saw and want to give us a follow us at twitch.tv/squadops. We also upload all of our VODs on youtube.com/squadops, and we'll love for you to subscribe there to watch all of our VODs and know when those come out. I was your commentator for the evening, Shadowed Ritual, and Silent was the co-commentator. And in the background, we had Barton doing our multicam stream. So thank you for everybody who helps out with their stream, and we really appreciate it if you guys could give us a follow. And thank you for all of our event admins who help make the events run so smoothly. Well, we will see you guys on Saturday for our next Squad Ops event. And with that, we'll see you guys later.